All right, so now it's going to be the last video of this section, and we're going to solve an equation that has two radicals. All right, so if you look here, we have the square root of 2x plus 1 and the square root of x. Now, we can't combine those because our radicands are different. So if we want to solve this, what we need to do is we need to isolate one of the two radicals. Now, in all honesty, you can solve this regardless of which radical you isolate first, but you want to isolate the radical that is the harder of the two radicals, meaning this one's just the square root of x, so it's really basic, just square root of x. This one is the square root of 2x plus 1. So we want to isolate that radical first. So what we'll do is to each side, we'll add the square root of x. So we get the square root of 2x plus 1 is equal to the square root of x plus 1. Alright, so once again, if you isolated the square root of x, you're not wrong, you'd still get the same answer, but this might be a little bit harder for you to solve. So here we're going to use the exact same things that we've done before. To get rid of this radical, we need to square it. So we need to square each side. So now we're left with 2x plus 1. And we squared it because our index was 2. Remember, if this was an index of 3, we would raise it to the third power. If it was an index of 4, we'd raise it to the fourth power. So we're not just squaring it just to square it. We're squaring it because our index is 2. All right, now we're going to multiply this off to the side. So it'll be the square root of x plus 1 times the square root of x plus 1. Same thing, there's a shortcut for this, but we're going to go through it using FOIL. So square root of x times square root of x is square root of x squared. Square root of x times 1 is plus the square root of x. 1 times square root of x is plus the square root of x, and 1 times 1 is plus 1. Well, the square root of x squared is going to be equal to x. Square root of x plus square root of x is plus 2 square root of x plus 1. So this is then equal to x plus 1 plus 2 times the square root of x. All right, now we still have a radical. So now we got rid of the other radical, so now we need to isolate this radical. So the first thing we'll do is we will subtract over 1 and subtract over x. And now we get x is equal to 2 times the square root of x. And now, I know that before we said we want to isolate our radicals as much as we can, but since this is an x and this is a 2, if I try to divide each side by 2, it can't divide into x, so we're going to be left with x over 2. So since we can't divide that, we're just going to square each side, but what you need to make sure is when you do this, that this power gets distributed to both the 2 and the square root of x. So this becomes x squared is equal to 2 squared times the square root of x squared. So x squared is equal to 4 times the square root of x squared is x. So x squared is equal to 4x. So then we'll subtract over our 4x. We'll finish it up here. So x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. We will divide, or we will factor out an x, so we're left with x times x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, or x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, or x is equal to 4. All right, so we have our two answers. Now, same thing with this, we need to check to see if these are extraneous. So I'm going to check here, and I'm going to check here. All right, so we'll plug them in. So the square root of 2 times 0 plus 1 minus the square root of 0, does this equal to 1? Well, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 0 is 0, so 1 minus 0, does this equal to 1? 1 does equal to 1, check. So we know that 0 works. All right, now we need to try square root of 4. So then square root of 2 times 4 plus 1 minus the square root of 4, does this equal to 1? 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 4 is 2, so 3 minus 2 does in fact equal to 1, so check, they both work. All right, so that is our final answer for this problem, and that's the only problem I'm going to go through with you guys now. You guys will have to do a problem on your own, same thing, in the Google Docs that you've already shared with me. This will be titled 6.5.3. And then you'll take a picture of your work and you'll share it with me and send it to me on Google Drive. All right, and that's it for this video.